What's going on YouTube? As crossovers have taken over from sedans as the most popular choice, luxury brands such as BMW and Audi have also seen their compact crossovers become their best sellers. So today we're taking a look at those number one products, the extensively refreshed 2022 BMW X3 and the also refreshed Audi Q5. We're squaring off the upgraded performance versions of each of these German heavyweights to find out which one is the ultimate combination of athleticism, comfort, and utility. Now, as typical for German vehicles, there is quite a price range that these two can fit into, but today we picked the mainstream performance models that combine the best of both worlds. For the Audi, that means we have the SQ5. And this one is pretty much fully loaded with the Prestige package and more. After all the options and destination, the total price comes in at $65,195. Moving to the BMW, the equivalent version of the X3 is the M40i model, which is priced in a very similar way. That means that after destination, the total price is nearly identical at $64,970. But let's get into the meat and potatoes here by checking out the exteriors. Both models just received styling refreshes that modernize the designs and make them look more aggressive than before. That's especially true of these examples, which include extra black elements from the Audi's black optic package and the BMW's extended shadow line trim. Of course, both models come with the brand's latest signature LED headlights, but only the Audi includes dynamic turn signals in the front. Continuing on, both of them have dynamic designs, set off by 20-inch contrast alloy wheels, and in the back, very distinctive full LED lighting, which have cool 3D elements to them. Again, the Audi's dynamic turn signal provides a special touch. More importantly though, these two come with sport-tuned exhaust systems, so let's go ahead and hear a little sample of that. Now, checking out some of the individual features, both of their mirrors have heating, power folding, auto dimming, and blind spot monitoring. Additionally, for the other safety systems, these loaded examples have them all, including forward emergency braking with pedestrian detection, adaptive cruise control with traffic jam assist, lane keeping assist, rear auto braking, and auto high beam headlights. And the last thing on the outside is that they share 4-year 50,000-mile bumper-to-bumper and powertrain warranties. However, only the BMW provides a generous 3 years of complimentary maintenance. But anyway, that concludes the outside. So now let's check out the cabins before we take them out for a test drive. So first, walking up to them, both have smart entry systems with nice looking key fobs. And opening up the doors to check out the insides, both make strong first impressions with beautifully designed cabins. But, of course, there are a lot of differences between them, including the seats. While the adjustments are the same, including a manual thigh extension, the BMW comes with Sensitech faux leather, while the Audi comes with a gorgeous quilted Nappa leather. The X3 does a fantastic job of imitating real leather, but Nappa leather is simply one of the best grades of leather in the auto industry. Once fully inside the cabins, we can check out the important issue of the general material quality. They are actually very similar in this regard, with soft touch upper dashboards, real wood or aluminum trim pieces, piano black, and leather padded consoles. So overall, both feel very high quality. Now taking a look at the gauges, both have giant 12.3-inch reconfigurable ones with amazing resolution. However, no one does it quite as well as Audi, which still has the edge thanks to more design choices and full-screen Google Earth maps. Additionally, both have head-up displays. Coming back to the steering wheels, both are leather-wrapped and heated, though the BMW's has a meatier feel to it and a leather airbag cover. That being said, only the SQ5's is power adjusting. Next up we have another important category, interior storage. Here the X3 has the advantage, since its center console is at least twice as big. Additionally, the other cubby in front of it is larger as well, so there are more places to stick objects such as a cell phone. That being said, however, the Audi fights back by including a wireless phone charging pad and heated and cooled cup holders. Both models have electronic shifters, and when in reverse, both also have 360-degree camera systems. The X3 also includes a 3D view, whereas the Q5 lineup does not include that function, even though other Audis have it. Both have electronic parking brakes, but the X3 also has brake hold. And now that brings us to the volume knobs, so let's go ahead and give the sound systems a sample. Full disclosure, I am not an audio expert. However, to my ears, they seem roughly equivalent to each other despite the speaker advantage in the SQ5. Alright, so now that takes us to the infotainment systems. For the refresh, Audi upsized the display to 10.1 inches and made it a touchscreen for the first time. The X3 also upsized its display during its refresh, but bringing it from 10 inches to 12.3 inches. It is also a touchscreen, but the iDrive controller has been retained for an additional input option. Both models have navigation and wireless Apple CarPlay, but only the iDrive system can also run Android Auto wirelessly as well. Finally, to wrap up the front of the interiors, both have auto-dimming mirrors and panoramic sunroofs. Now heading around to the rear, this is perhaps just as important as the front since these are used as family vehicles. Dimensionally speaking, they are very similar to each other, with the Q5 having less than 5% more legroom. And as far as the features back here, both have rear climate controls and several connections, but only the SQ5 has heated seats. Moving out back, both have hands-free power tailgates, and once they open up, you'll find an X3 advantage. At both seating arrangements, the BMW has about 10% more cargo capacity. Only the Audi, however, includes a spare tire. Alright, so now let's get to the exciting part, which is taking them out for a spin and seeing who's going to come out on top. So immediately after getting behind the wheel, you can already tell that these are impressive products. As the sport versions, they have both impressive performance and also the comfort from the regular models. The most important part of the increased performance is what's under the hoods. In this case, both having turbocharged 6-cylinders. They are very fast, but the BMW has a decent power advantage here on paper, and out in the real world, it does indeed have the faster 0 to 60.
Oh my gosh, this thing is amazing. Oh, I love it.
Listen to that. You can have like
so good.
some backfires and some kind of pops and cracks when you get it in the sport mode with this exhaust. Wow. Ooh.
Yes. Wow.
And just like that, beyond 60 miles per hour. But there's a lot more to a luxury sport crossover than just raw speed, so let's talk some of the other stuff. In regard to the rest of the powertrains, both have rear-biased all-wheel drive systems, as well as excellent 8-speed automatic transmissions that shift almost as quickly as dual clutches, but with traditional automatic smoothness. Love the verbals.
Oh my gosh.
Sounds really good. Now, I actually have to talk about things besides for how good it sounds. We do have an 8-speed automatic transmission on board. It's a regular automatic actually, and it's not a dual clutch like what you have in the regular Q5, but the shifting is extremely fast, really nice responding. I'll click it over here and check the paddle shifters as well. Yeah, they respond instantly, so I don't think you're gonna have any complaints. This is a really good transmission. Should also mention the transmission, which I haven't talked about up until this point. This is just an excellent transmission. I've always complimented this application in any different BMW product because this is a traditional automatic, 8-speed automatic, but it really has the crispness and the speed of a dual clutch almost. It really just kind of combines the best characteristics of both worlds. You know, you can use the paddles and just snap off shifts lightning fast, or when you put it in sport mode. But then otherwise, if you're just in comfort mode cruising around, you'll find that it's very comfortable in everyday living. Yeah. As far as other driving characteristics, both have fantastic ride quality and suspensions that can firm up nicely when put into sport mode.
And I want to mention this because the M40i, the M40i X3 really is the best of both worlds. We've reviewed this car several times, and I'm a huge fan of it just because you can be on the road here and it's extremely comfortable, and you know, a family SUV, and it just is so nice. But you can also have that sport with it.
Yeah, and the adaptive suspension does adjust as well with the exhaust. So as we go into comfort mode, it'll be a little softer, a little quieter for our sound sample. And speaking of sport mode, the X3 steering has more heft and feel when you're driving enthusiastically. Now, I will go ahead and mention today's airball, because it can't all be positive. I'm going to airball the steering. It's a little bit lighter than I want, even with the dynamic mode. As you can see, it's fast, but it's a little light and could use a little more feel. I think the rivals such as the GLC43 and the M40i X3 do that a little bit better. Sound insulation is also very important for luxury vehicles, especially family options such as these. Now, I accidentally took the measurements at different speeds and the Audi was in sport mode, so we can't score this, but here they are for reference.
51.9. Excellent reading. And before we started slowing down there, it switched over to 55 decibels. Do keep in mind that we are in the dynamic mode, so we're getting a little bit more exhaust noise than you would in the comfort mode. This really, I want to hammer in the fact that in comfort, this is almost no different than a regular Q5, which is certainly a good thing, but it does just have that dual character. If you want that sport, you can make it really sporty, so that also carries over to your ride quality and stuff like that. It really has an exceptional ride quality and comfort, especially on this model with the air suspension.
And lastly, for fuel economy, the delta between the regular Q5 and SQ5 is much larger than between the 30i and the M40i X3. This is probably due to the new 48-volt mild hybrid system just added to the BMW for 2022, which helps power advanced auto start-stop among other things. And that right there is the auto start-stop system powering on the vehicle. It's one of the big benefits with this mild hybrid system is that you have advanced auto start-stop, so it makes it a lot smoother where you don't really notice it. Additionally, one of the tricks is that it can power off the engine as you're coming to a stop at under 9 miles per hour, so you can have the engine off while you're actually coming to the stop. Of course, that's going to save fuel and also make it even less noticeable. And with that, we conclude this in-depth side-by-side comparison. These two German crossovers are very impressive products, that blend comfort, utility, and athleticism in a near seamless way. Like we always say, buying a car is an emotional experience as much as a rational one, so much of the decision will come down to your personal preference. Make sure to go and test drive both of them if you are in the market for a new luxury sport CUV. Anyway guys, thanks for joining us, and we truly appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button below to show us that you enjoyed the content. We have dedicated full review videos for almost every vehicle in this segment, so make sure to check those out as well. Take care, and we'll see you next time.